but it said it was going to start at 7 o'clock. But I think there'll be quite a few folks joining us in the course of this morning. In the first place, I want to take just a minute for 1 minute of silence and send our prayers to the Knight family who went through a terrible tragedy this afternoon here in Teaneck. Just take a minute of silence, please. Thank you. Actually, there's a whole lot of folks from the Northeast who are going to be here tonight that are actually grieving in our town. Bergen Grass Roots is an organization that has important goals in terms of transparency and trying to make sure that the way in which the government functions is not only open but also fair and carries out its activities in a fair and competitive way. But in terms of Republicans, Democrats, and third-party candidates, we are completely nonpartisan, and I hope that what you see tonight is a reflection of precisely those values and those commitments. We have had several of these forums in the past. Last year was a really interesting year because it not only had the freeholder candidates, but it also had the county executive. But the task of choosing 3 freeholders from 8 candidates, 2 of whom are third-party candidates, one of whom we will only hear from by virtue of his statement tonight, is a difficult, a more challenging challenge for the electorate, because not only are you choosing 3 people, but you're doing it for different lengths of terms. I want to be sure that you understand who these people are. So as they speak tonight, even though we will be calling on them in an equal way, you know that 4 of them are competing for 2 positions for 3-year terms, beginning in January. And 3 of them are competing for 1 position for 1 year to finish the term of James Tedesco, who became the county executive. So that threesome over there is the 1-year term, and this foursome here is the 2-year term. Sorry. This foursome here is the 3-year term. Thank you. What I'd like to do now is turn the process of vetting these candidates, who need to tell you what their party affiliations are in the course of their statement, to my colleague and member of the steering committee, Cliff Lewis.
Hi, Mr. Rorman, would you like to begin? Your first 2-minute statement?
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Best. My name is Peter Rorman. I'm the Libertarian candidate for Bergen County Freeholder, going for the 1-year unexpired term. I'm a lifelong resident of Bergen County, lived here my whole life. I have ancestry that stretches back about 100 years in this county. I began my public service on my 18th birthday, serving with my local fire department across right here in Bergen County. I also spent 6 years in the United States Marine Corps as a rifleman serving through Desert Storm. It was a highlight of my life, one of the highlights of my life. The Marine Corps head identified me early in my enlistment to be selected as a high-level leader in the Marine Corps. They appointed me to Officer Candidate School, where I graduated in the top 5% of my class. In addition to that service, the past 20 years, I've used most of my spare time teaching the youth of Bergen County football and wrestling through 5 different communities in Bergen County. The main issues here in Bergen County in this race are spending, taxes, and the credibility of the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office. I'm running in this race mostly because I feel like a disenfranchised voter. I feel as if no one in government is representing me. I'm a libertarian. I believe in small government. I'm fiscally conservative. I'm socially tolerant. And I don't see anyone in government representing my political thoughts. Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Sullivan, would you like to give your statement, please?
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. I don't know if you can hear me.
No, we can't hear you.
If you just take it out of the, how there you go.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tom Sullivan. I'm also a lifelong Bergen County resident, and I've had the honor of serving my community as a freeholder since January of 2015. I was appointed to take the place of our county executive, James Tedesco, and I'm running for freeholder because I believe in the future of Bergen County, and I'd like to give back to the community that has served my family and I so well. I have always volunteered my time, either serving on local boards, school projects, or coaching our children. Previously, I've served on 2 different town councils in Bergen County. From 1998 to 2002, I served Bergenfield as a councilman, including being the council president in 2001. After moving to Montville, where I currently live with my wife and 3 daughters, I was elected to serve as a councilman from 2005 through 2007. I am currently a member of the IBW Local 164 Electricians Union, where I serve as its president and business representative. In my role as a freeholder, I have worked well with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, as well as with the county executive. For example, we've passed a bipartisan, unanimous budget this year while addressing specific needs of the county. One of the most pressing needs of the county is the heroin epidemic, which has no geographical or socioeconomic boundaries. We have been able to raise awareness through educational programs, including my co-sponsorship of a resolution with freeholder Maura Di Nicola, which encouraged real estate professionals to lock up their clients' medicine cabinets, during open house showings. While working with my colleagues, freeholders Zor and Horse, we petitioned Bergen County Regional Medical Center to expand their detox unit. Thankfully, they've agreed to this, adding 10 additional beds while planning for more in this foreseeable future. If elected, I would like to expand our opportunities to use our vocational schools and to promote apprenticeship programs to ensure a living wage for those who prefer to learn a trade. I would also like to see the county continue to generate creative ways to engage in shared services that make sense for the county, for the municipality, and the taxpayer. I want to thank Bergen Grass Roots for giving me the opportunity tonight. I look forward to an informative debate this evening, and I would be remiss if I did not mention that it is my daughter Jaden's 13th birthday, and I want to wish her a happy birthday tonight. Thank you.
Please welcome Daisy Ortiz Berger.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much, Grassroots Organization, for inviting me and for setting this up for all of us to learn about us as candidates and make an educated choice in your selection November 3rd. I'll just be very brief on my background because I'm just a young mom with 2 young children that are still not in the school system, 2 and 4. I've worked all my life in corporate America, and I'm not a politician, but I will be come November 3rd. One of the reasons that I am running is because as a young mom moving into Bergen County, you aspire to live in a place where you can raise your children, feel proud of the environment that they're in, and that they get the best education. But as a young mom, you also understand that it's expensive to live in Bergen County. So I am passionate about doing the right things for everyone in Bergen County, but especially those young families that move here and aspire to live here, and then after several years of getting tax hikes and other issues in their towns, they decide that they have to move out because they can't afford to no longer live here or raise their families. I think I wanted to ask a question because are we supposed to ask the question in our school?
No,
Just
hold your
introduction.
question. We'll come back to that.
Okay. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Please welcome incumbent freeholder Tracy Zor.
Thank you so much. Good evening. I want to thank Bergen Grass Roots, not just for sponsoring this debate, but for continually being engaged on so many issues throughout the county. The emphasis that you put on dialogue, on thoroughly exploring the intricacies of policy, and on showcasing it really enable clear thought out decisions to be made. And you do a tremendous service to our community. I've been extremely honored over these last 3 years to serve as one of your Bergen County freeholders. As a judge and a prosecutor, I made impacts 1 case at a time, but as your representative, I'm really humbled to be able to help people directly and influence the direction of our community. I rolled up my sleeves to be engaged in every detail of policy and worked diligently to represent the interests of Bergen County residents. 3 years ago, Steve and I put out an 11-point plan when we ran for office and laid out a vision of the direction that we wanted to move our county. And every single day, we've worked to move the ball down the field. We've accomplished nearly everything on that list, and we've made impacts in so many other areas that we couldn't have even anticipated 3 years ago. We not only realigned the county police and county sheriff, which is the largest single tax-saving measure in Bergen County history, but we did so without hurting a single officer in the process. We made sure that our pay-to-play ordinance could both withstand constitutional challenge and kept the influence of campaign contributions out of government. I've been an advocate for those with disabilities and been relentless on issues regarding Bergen Regional Medical Center, whether it's been pushing for more resources for drug treatment or ensuring the safety of our employees. We've restored services for veterans, worked for more shared services, data-driven decision-making, improvements in transportation. We've done all this, yet we've consistently scrutinized every single dollar spent. We delivered a zero tax increase and slashed $7 million in the proposed budget in 2014 and cut over $1 million from the proposed plan last year. We've prudently invested in our infrastructure and restored deep cuts that were made to education, both key moves to ensuring the future growth of our county. There's still a lot to do. We have the direction of Bergen Regional Medical Center to plan, a heroin epidemic to tackle, infrastructure to address, and so much more. I sit here this evening energized to continue to move Bergen